everybody, welcome back. We hope everybody kept it casual. Not much sports going on right now, so we thought we would just dive into the Epstein files, grade every single release page by page. All right,
Woody Johnson,
just
I'm
kidding, of
watching you.
course.
Woody Johnson, I'm
I did see
watching you,
that
buddy.
Epstein's Fortnite account is reportedly active in Israel this year,
Damn.
so that's interesting.
Wow.
We'll be diving into that
Okay,
in the
okay,
in the
okay.
in the
I
dog
see
days
you,
of the off
Andy.
season.
I see you,
We'll
Andy.
see if we can find him in the battle royale and get some revenge. But no, there is a lot of sports going on. This is going to be a loaded episode. Six will be
Sure.
joining us eventually, but we got the Super Bowl just around the corner. Of course, we're going to preview that, give you our picks. But the NBA likes to try its best to overshadow football on its biggest week with the trade deadline, and the trade deadline continues to be juicy. Shams Charania, we got our eyes on you. Kenny's got his thoughts he's going to share on on the Mr. Newsbreaker himself. He gassed up some Giannis trades, some Carl Anthony Towns trades. Neither of those things happened. Kenny, give us your thoughts on Mr. Shams.
Shams, man. This is my message to you if you can hear me loud and clear.
He
Be
can hear
you,
you.
be you, man. Be you. Stop trying to chase this Woj hype. You keep on, this Giannis trade thing, yes, it's at its peak right now, but it's every year. Oh, Giannis is unhappy. It's been every year since they won the championship. It's like Giannis is unhappy. Giannis is unhappy. Maybe Giannis wants to move, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what his fixation is, but like, dog, the state of Wisconsin will kill you on sight right now. Like, it is insane. Uh, and I just want to say this as a fellow brown man to another brown man: please be
Mm-hmm.
yourself, man. You trying to chase this white legend who
Mm-hmm.
did numbers in this sport. He set the
Mm-hmm.
standard. You got to set your
Yep.
own standard. Stop trying to be somebody you're not. And you're hyping up these trades with little zero sources. There's rumors that you doing NBA Central and Legion Hoops too. Like, those shits ain't shit good either. Like, Shams,
Damn,
you gotta
dude.
be you, man. I hate to see this. I'm rooting for you, but you look like a bitch all fucking the last 2 weeks,
Oh,
man. And I hope better for you, Shams. I hope that
damn.
was a good
They
positive
calling you
criticism.
You called him
they
a bitch,
calling you
so not
scam
really.
Charania, bro.
Shams,
He did have us
Damn.
fooled though. We really did think Giannis might be on the move this time around, but we're gonna have to wait till at least the off season. But the Bucks did make some moves. They did not trade away Giannis, but yeah, for the entire deadline, pretty much every team got frisky here. So we're gonna go team by team and give our grades for what they did this deadline. Let's start with the Atlanta Hawks. Going back, they were one of the teams that kicked off really the trade season, sending away Trey Young. They followed that up by sending out Kristaps Porzingis. In return, their big additions this season, Jonathan Kaminga and CJ McCollum. Ben, what did you think about their deadline moves?
I actually kind of liked the well, not liked, I guess is a strong word, but I'm kind of semi-positive on the Hawks moves. I think taking a flyer on Jonathan Kaminga, I think isn't a bad idea. Obviously, he was disgruntled in Golden State. He's got a team option for next year, so they do control him for next season. So you take a flyer, see what you got on him, see if he's fits alongside Dyson Daniels and Zachary Risachet and those guys you got down there. So, but overall, I mean, I'm not really too sold on what the Hawks did. I mean, I think they're a middling team, and I think they made middling moves. And I think they'll be decent. Shout out to Buddy Hield. I've always liked him. Shout out Oklahoma. Yeah, I mean, getting off
All right, what's your
Kristaps'
letter
contract.
grade?
Letter grade. I'll give him a C minus. I'll give him actually C plus for getting off the Kristaps contract or not having to potentially pay him next year because he is an unrestricted free agent. So not having to deal with that. I'll give him a C plus.
All right, Kenny, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm in the same agreement. I was gonna say C plus as well. I think they made some middling moves. Like Ben said, like it's Jonathan Kuminga. Like this man's disgruntled, but he's also gotten hurt as well over the past couple months. It hasn't been the prettiest, but when he plays well. Buddy Hield, is Buddy Hield in 2026. Like like I saw this man playing a college championship in 2016. Like it's been 10 years this man's been in the league, and he played 4 years in college. So this man's a little old. I don't know if this is the move that they wanted to make, but it definitely was to get off the Kristaps Porzingis sickness or whatever he's got going on over there.
Yeah, I feel in line with that as well. I did think they took a slight L on the Trae Young deal. I know they just wanted to kind of get malcontent out of town, see what they can do for him, but I do think they severely lost value, traded him away at the very valley of his trade stock there. But I do like swapping Porzingis for Kaminga. Might as well take a swing, add another athletic wing to join with Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, and kind of that team identity they're trying to build down in Atlanta. So yeah, overall, I would give them a C minus because I do think that they could have gotten a lot better value for Trae Young if they just held on a bit. Ultimately, I don't think getting CJ McCollum back is any big of a deal. If anything, it's been a negative for them. I mean, like you can say you wanted to get rid of Trae Young because he's a shot chucker who doesn't play defense, but now you got CJ McCollum doing the same thing. So.
Clearly, the trade signifies something. I mean, not to the extent of Nico Harrison trading Luka Doncic, but just beef between the current GM of the Hawks, who is different from Landry Fields, who is the one that drafted him. So, it just hasn't been a steady relationship, I feel like, for Trae Young with new management. Quint Snyder is his 8th coach, I think, or some shit like that. Like, I feel like he's had like 4 coaches since they went to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, it's just, what do you mean? So yeah, I don't know if Trae Young was the future in Atlanta in the first place. So that's what it is.
Yeah, definitely good call with the new regime. I feel like you said, it was a statement trade. Like we don't even care for losing on the deal. We want this guy out of here, so he's out of here. Which I think says a lot to where Trae Young's kind of value was. I don't know who else was beating down the door for him, but
yeah, it's up to Ice Trae now to make them regret that deal. But we'll see how that plays out for Washington. Let's move on. We're gonna skip the Celtics for now until Six gets back, hopefully after cooking and eating dinner. But let's do the Brooklyn Nets. Just a quick blurb on them. They didn't really do much at the deadline. They helped facilitate a 3-team trade that basically allowed the Clippers to get off of Chris Paul's salary. What Brooklyn did get in return for helping with that is Ochai Agbaji, 2032 second round pick from Toronto, and just some straight up cash. So not much going on there. I'll give them a B for just kind of getting value and sending out really nothing in exchange. I don't know how y'all feel about that one.
Shout out to Chris Paul. Me and him about to be on the same fucking visa.
Nice. Give us some tips, nigga. I mean the Nets are low, bro. I don't think much of their moves. They did waive Cam Thomas, which was also interesting.
That was interesting as well. See another
where he'll end up.
Kind of morale move there.
Yeah, they got him to ass the fuck out of there.
Yeah, man.
We'll take him 30 shots somewhere else, nigga.
Yeah. I like Cam Thomas though. I don't know. I have a love and hate relationship with this man on 2K. Sometimes he hits the big shot, sometimes he doesn't, but clearly Brooklyn got tired of that in real life. So they let him go.
Not a lot of big shots when you're the Nets.
Yeah, I'll ding them for that a little bit. I mean, like, as inefficient and as ball hoggy as Cam Thomas can be at times, I mean, the game's about a bucket and he can clearly create those. So the fact that they couldn't get like a second round pick or something in exchange for someone who's shown that they can score with the best of them, I think you got to get dinged for that a little bit. But ultimately, pretty quiet deadline for the Brooklyn Nets. Let's move on to the Charlotte Hornets. Their key additions this deadline: Kobe White and Tyus Jones while sending out Colin Sexton. Kind of a confusing deadline for a team that's been showing some promising signs lately. Canny, what do you think about Charlotte's moves?
I don't understand like what is management in Charlotte? Is it just dead brain organization? Like what why are you getting more guards? Like you have hella guards. Like get somebody that can play in the paint. Get rid of Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges takes the worst shot at the worst time every single time I look at these Hornets games. Like I'm just like, what is happening? Why? I don't know. I think the Charlotte Hornets are one of the young teams that's in a bright spot. Zach Lowe's been giving them a lot of love. I like the Hornets when they played. I watched the Pelicans highlights, and I was like, this team looks like they want to play. So I don't understand these moves. I don't understand adding 40-year-old Mike Conley and Colby White. I mean, I guess Colby White adds more shooting, but yeah, Tyus Jones. I don't know. I give this a C minus maybe.
Oh no. Oh no. I'm way higher on this than that.
I don't
First of
know.
all, Hornets have been hot, second hottest team in the East right now. Seven
Right.
game win streak for Charlotte, and I think this move, while it's not really a splashy one, Kobe White he has been good in Chicago. I mean he's the guard like Andy was talking about Cam Thomas. He unlike the bad locker room part, he can score with the best of them. He can put up buckets, and I think with an offense like this in Charlotte where they're just kind of, rolling down an avalanche. I feel like a guy like Kobe White is going to be a great addition here. The ball moves around, it finds the open player. And I think to kind of make a move, even though it's a small one, to kind of like make a push for the play. And I think for a team that hasn't had a lot of bright spots recently, like that anybody can remember recently. I think it's a good move to kind of try to, overtake the Bulls for that 10 spot in the playing game. So I'm gonna give them a B plus. I won't give them an A just because I don't think they made any really A moves, but I think they got a B plus. I really like what Charlotte did, honestly.
Okay, I think I'd have to side with Canny here, just because I'm a bigger fan of Colin Sexton's game than Kobe White. It seems like Colin Sexton has been like habitually undervalued since coming into the NBA. I mean, he's not the most efficient guy, but he does try hard. He can play defense when he's locked in, which is most of the time. I mean, he has his physical limitations as a smaller guard, but so does Kobe White. And Colin Sexton at least gives more effort. He's got more juice as an on ball creator, at least getting downhill. Although for Charlotte, I think that is kind of why they made the move to try to find someone who fits in better off ball with LaMelo Ball and Con Knipple creating mainly. But yeah, they're both like on expiring deals. So I personally just don't get it unless they do re sign Kobe White. And the benefit to what they did is that they got Colin Sexton basically for free last offseason. So if they do turn that into a long term deal with Kobe White, one that's like a team friendly contract, then I can kind of see the vision there. But for now, I would say I'm more befuddled by the move than anything. I'd give them a C, C minus maybe. But
Oh, okay.
there's another side to that deal was the Bulls. The Bulls got very aggressive at the deadline. Looks like they're finally heading towards some sort of a rebuild, if you can call it that. Although, if we're
Well,
talking about confusing moves, they're probably at the top of the list here. They
bunch of
brought
them.
in Anthony Simons, Colin Sexton, and Jaden Ivey, three guards, a bunch of second round picks, and sent out Kobe White, Nikola Vucevic, and Ayo Dosunmu in the process. But how do you feel about your hometown team and what they
Your
did?
hometown team.
Hometown team, not my hometown team. I'm a Duvalian, sir. This is not my hometown team, but this is where I reside. So I do, kind of keep up with the Bulls a little bit. But I'm befuddled by these moves. How y'all felt about what Charlotte did? This is how I felt about what the Bulls did. I don't know why they're like hoarding all these guards. Like I don't understand like what the point of that is there. I mean, you get Sexton, sure, but then you also have Simons who's due to get paid. You get Sexton who's due to get paid. Who else? Who else is due up to get paid? They got Nick Richards, who is due up to get paid. So they just got a bunch of guys who are like due up for contracts, and a lot of them are guards. And I do like Jaden Ivey, but he's also due to get paid the season after next. So I'm not really sure. I guess you're just playing roulette to kind of see which one of these guys sticks, which one of them is going to be the future. I guess which is Giddy and Williams, but. I don't really know what the Bulls are doing, honestly. I never really know what the Bulls are doing. So I'm gonna give them honestly probably a C minus. I want to say D plus so badly just because I
No,
just
please
don't
do.
understand I'm gonna say D plus. Like I just don't
Say it.
understand what all the guards like. I just don't understand like what the point of like what direction are you going? Like
I agree. Like I feel a little bit better about Charlotte than this because I think this is a D plus as well. Like this is not a good trade. Like what sell the team. Like this is just torture for the fans to watch a six guard rotation with Patrick Williams who barely fucking plays. And like you trade away Ayo Dusomu, like somebody that was a heart of the team a couple of years ago and it still is a heart of the team locally. It hasn't, and they trade away that guy. It's like it, you sell the
I mean,
team,
I just
like
think
dog.
about the team they had with Vooch and DeRozan and Levine, and the
And they
turn
got
that
shit
it's
back.
and the turn that what it's turned into is ultimately like I don't know. I'm not
Three
very
second round picks, like this is ridiculous.
yeah.
Like this is
I'm
stupid.
just not very inspired by
Yeah,
these moves.
but yeah,
By the Bulls' brain trust.
I'm with Bug. I don't trust the Bug the the Bulls brain trust. I trust the Bug brain trust. I trusted the
Hey,
Bulls brain trust. This shit is ass as fuck.
yeah.
But yeah, I D plus man. What you want, Rose fan? What you think?
Yeah, this I
I'm really
mean
fun.
Chicago ownership and management has been questionable since the Michael Jordan era, really. And even the tail end of that was kind of broken up by all of the drama going on behind the scenes. But it's tough because in a vacuum, like some of these moves are, I would think, are wins. Like turning Vucevic into Anthony Simons is nice. He's younger. He has potential as an on-ball creator, but
But
like
then
you
you
have
trade for
this
two more
host of
guards.
guards.
Then you
Yeah.
trade
You
Anthony
already have
Simons, and then you trade for
Josh
Jaden
Giddey,
Ivey. Like
Yeah,
what
you
are
have
you?
who
Giddy.
you gave a bag to. So like, and you're also nurturing Matas Buzelis, who isn't a
Mhm.
guard per se, but like he obviously if he's going to reach his ceiling, he needs the rock in his hands. That's where he's going to be his best. So yeah, it's just confusing because like getting Jaden Ivey is good business, getting Anthony Simons on its own is good business. Turning Io DeSonmu into Rob Dillingham and Leonard Miller, that's a good move as well on its own. But altogether, like I get, you know, throwing as much spaghetti as the wall as you can to see what sticks, but you're not going to have the playing time necessary to really see like who here is worth keeping around when you have so many players at overlapping positions. And then in terms of like rebuilding their value to flip them later on, you also need to have them on the court showing what they can do, putting up good numbers to be able to do that as well. So I think, I mean, like you said, with that core of Levine, DeRozan, and Vooch, when it was at its peak, you would think they could have traded those guys for two first round picks a piece, and they ended up with zero draft capital in return. For a team that was what the one seed in the East for a strong stretch there,
They
like
were.
it's been a disaster in Chicago, and they're still paying for those sins now, and they don't have a real cornerstone.
Yeah.
They might think Giddy's one, but
An alleged
that
an alleged pedophile is your cornerstone. That's
yeah, we'll
Keep
see
it
you
classy,
again, Josh Giddey,
Chicago.
in the in the
classic
Epstein
Chicago.
episode.
You know, R. Kelly, Kanye. Now this guy. What the fuck?
All the greats.
All
All
right,
the
All
let's
the
greats.
greats.
let's get into some real drama, some superstar moves. The Cleveland Cavaliers making waves in the Eastern Conference, trying to make a push towards the top of the standings. They send out Darius Garland. They get rid of Lonzo Ball, who's been having a very disappointing season for them, and they bring in Keon Ellis, Dennis Schroeder, and James Harden. Kenny, what do you think about that?
Andy, you a fellow left-hander, so I like rooting for the left-handed players in the league because there are so few. And I've loved James Harden because he's truly reached sites that I've seen that he was averaging 40. But I don't understand. I don't know if this is the Cavs move. I understand moving on from Darius Garland. He hasn't played a lot this season, and he's been hurt in the playoffs too when you really needed him the most. But like you're trading for James Harden, like he's gonna disappear the same way like in the playoffs. So like I just don't understand if this is like an up move. I feel like this is a lateral move. So personally, I'm gonna give this a C. I just it's not it doesn't feel like the team's better, but it doesn't feel like the team is worse.
I feel
Mm,
that. Bug, what
mm.
do you think about a potential East rival here for the Knicks?
I will say if we're talking about playoffs, you know, James Harden in the playoffs is got a reputation and it's not a good one. So I think a team like the Cavs, who have had some playoff woes, who haven't exactly reached those heights that they maybe have set for themselves or maybe envisioned for themselves, to bring on a guy like James Harden, who is supposed to theoretically take you over the top, is extremely ironic. And I mean, like maybe they don't realize that it is. Maybe they just like it's like a reverse jinx kind of thing. Like if we're both choking in the playoffs, then nobody's choking. And so I'm not really sure, but like Kenny said, I think it's a lateral move. I wasn't a big fan of Garland, so I like getting off of his contract. But with Harden looking for a new deal, what's that going to look like? Maybe, obviously you're going to get him at a discount to Darius Garland, but are you? Because, is James Harden looking for his Twilight deal? So that could come back to bite you. And, the Cavs front office, notoriously, although under new regime now, notoriously have handed out some bad contracts in the past. So I'm going to give them probably a C plus just because they get off the Garland contract, but James Harden elevating you in the playoffs. That's just hilarious, man. It's fucking hilarious. Like it just,
It's literally hilarious. They watched the game 7 from last year and we're like, we need that. We need
yeah,
that.
like
we need
that's
that.
that's what's gonna take us over the top.
That's
I
what
do
we
like
fucking
I
need.
do like Keon Ellis though. He's a nice, defensive guard. Mitchell nor James Harden are known for playing defense, so I do like, him being in the rotation. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you think Darius Garland is going to be the player that as a two-time All-Star, then I would rate this probably a B plus. But if he shows any kind of semblance of life, with the Clippers, and they continue their surge, and he's a part of it, then this deal is going to look pretty bad. Come April. And Darius Garland looks great, and next to Kawhi Leonard, and your guy is shitting his pants in the first round of playoffs again.
Yeah, so in a vacuum again, I am actually pretty high on the moves that the Cavs made on the surface. The biggest thing there in terms of James Harden versus Darius Garland is just availability.
Yeah,
Whereas like James Harden has disappeared in the playoffs plenty of times, but it's not because he wasn't healthy. He would just fade away. Where Garland just hasn't been available, or he's been playing through injury and was clearly limited because of that. So I think at some point with Donovan Mitchell starting to enter the twilight of his prime here and they've just been hitting a wall in the postseason. Like I do see the value of that. I do really like the Keon Ellis deal. I think that was kind of a fleece. I mean, you're selling DeAndre Hunter at a low and getting a very valuable 3 and D guard in return, kind of what they thought Lonzo Ball would be for them.
yeah,
Um, you like that. So I would give them a B plus. The tough part of it is like what you outlined in that Darius Garland could very well come back healthy and become a real franchise cornerstone for the Clippers. And that would mean that the Cavs sent him out at the low point of his stock. So that
yeah.
could certainly come back to bite them. It's definitely not outside the realm of possibility. And yeah, James Harden might suit up, but he very well could fade in the playoffs, and you run through the same problem that you have been. The one upside of that is that Donovan Mitchell he takes his lumps for trying to play hero ball in the playoffs, but he does it very successfully sometimes. Like he ball hogs, but he'll get to 40, 50 points if you need him to. So with James Harden on the team now, the Cavs will probably need him to put up 30 shots some games. And I think that could actually turn out to be a good fit between them and build some synergy and cover up for some of James Harden's postseason woes there. But overall, I'd give them about a B, maybe a B plus. Um, let's move
Yeah.
on to the Dallas Mavericks. They sent out Anthony Davis and D'Angelo Russell. In return, they got Chris Middleton and a little bit of draft capital. Pretty much wrapped up the Luka Doncic trade saga there. Bug, what do you feel about the Mavs moves at the deadline?
I think we talked about it last pod, and I'm pretty sure I said these words like, if you got the chance to trade Anthony Davis, you just trade him. You don't double down on your losses. You don't double down on an experiment gone wrong, which was whatever the fuck you were thinking, trading Luka Doncic. But yeah, you take your lumps and you trade him, and I think I mean, for what they got back is fine. That OKC first round pick isn't gonna be shit. Maybe the 2030 Golden State pick could become something, but I think you got what you could at this point. I mean, AD is damaged goods, and it's time to cut your losses. Think about Cooper Flag. Think about the future, and just go on there. So you get out of his contract. Yeah, maybe you try to bottom out. I could see Flag maybe getting the old, hey bud, you got an ankle sprain, and it's a tough one. You're gonna be out for 2 months. So you try to bottom out, get another pick to get with him, and just try to reboot for next year. But I guess I'll give him an A. Honestly, they did what I wanted them to do, is get the fuck out of the Anthony Davis business. So I'll give him an A for that. Nico Harrison, you'll always just have a giant F on your head, dude. And I'm sorry it had to be you, but goddamn, what a fucked up way to close the loop, dude. Chris Middleton and Malachi Brown and Marvin Bagwell, dude. Like, goddamn.
Kenny, how do you feel?
Yeah, I'd give him an A for getting out of the Anthony Davis business, but like Marvin Bagley the third, like what,
He's still kicking, bro.
you're
He's
just
still
taking
kicking.
contracts at this point.
Duke legend.
It's
Duke
definitely
legend.
it's definitely like a it's definitely like a get out of this shit trade, and
Yeah.
they've done it. They've done it, and hats out to them for accepting the losses and moving on. Some other franchise would have just never traded AD. Like I bet, like we'll just keep him. We'll just keep him forever.
You mean like the Bucks?
Yes, literally the Bucks. So yeah, they did what they could do. So yeah, it's whatever. It's it's a business.
Yeah, if this was Nico Harrison making these moves, they would definitely be an F because it would be a continuation of the Luka Doncic trade, basically.
Right.
But because it's a new regime and new people pulling the trigger, I will give this an A as well. I mean, getting two late first round picks for this version of Anthony Davis that we've seen this season, one that can't stay on the court as always, and now even when he is on the court, looks old and washed and looks like he's got a handful of games left in the tank. I mean, I think you can't complain too much about that. Obviously, you have to erase the history of how they got Anthony Davis in the first place, but again, in a vacuum, I think it's good business. Denver Nuggets didn't really do anything. We can skip right over them. Detroit Pistons, we talked about Jaden Ivey to the Chicago Bulls. It was the Pistons who made that deal with Chicago. In return, they got Kevin Herter. Kenny, you think they did enough to add shooting to that team, or what are you feeling now?
Kevin Herter hit a game winner like 2 weeks ago. I think Kevin Herter's hitting his peak a little bit. Who knows? But I like this white boy. This white boy can play. So I'm gonna go with
Nice,
I like this trade. I'm gonna go with the B.
Nice.
I
Like
fuck with
this.
Solid B. Bug, how you
Stuff
feel?
about
You
it.
feeling a little bit more scared of Detroit, or does this not move
No.
you?
No, not at all. I'm not sure which Kevin Herter can he's watching, but he is shooting 31% from three this year on 5 attempts. So no, I'm
I
not
said
scared.
vibes.
Yeah, vibes, that's true. But casually, I just got a couple casual numbers. He's close to career lows from three, so maybe that flips around with Detroit. But Kevin Herter, you could take as many shots as you want, dude. Like we're not. That doesn't scare me the fuck at all, dude. I was more scared of Malik Beasley. He was betting against himself. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I'll give them a C plus. I like that they did something. I do think they kind of took a. I mean, I know they took a loss on Jaden Ivey. I mean, this dude was a top five pick, what, 3 years
Yeah.
ago, and
Yeah.
you're sending him out for Kevin Herter, who is, supposed to be a shooter. And we've seen him get hot at times for sure, but he's only been over 37% from three one season out of the last four.
Yeah.
That's pretty tough. He hasn't been Kayvon in a while now. But
Fuck
No.
maybe playing
Kayvon.
for an actual competitive team will awaken that in him. It is a lot of
Mm.
responsibility, though. Like everyone knew Detroit needed shooting because they have virtually zero. So he's going to have to carry the bulk of that burden. I do like that they got uh, a first round pick swap with the T Wolves in the deal, just to
Okay.
kind of help them get off the Mike Conley contract. So chances are Detroit will be better than Minnesota in the next few years. So I do think there's a chance that conveys. So yeah, I'll give them a B. I like that they tried to do something, tried to address a glaring need. I do think they could have gotten better value for Jaden Ivey, but maybe Kevin Herter will prove us all wrong. Let's move on to another team trying to cling on to their contendership. The Golden State Warriors finally pulled the trigger on a Jonathan Kuminga deal. In return, they get Kristaps Porzingis. But how do you feel about that?
That's this is I don't really like it. I mean, Porzingis obviously, used to play for the Knicks once upon a time, but I feel bad for Steph, man. I feel bad that this is how the twilight of his career is going with these with just these moves like that they've made that just have backfired every draft pick along the way that they've whiffed on, and it's all culminated into this where you flip Jonathan Kaminga, who was supposed to be kind of like your spiritually was supposed to be like this Andre Iguodala, kind of player where he's, the perfect 3-and-D wing and he's athletic and he can dunk on people. And it's like he showed flashes of that. And to turn him into Kristaps Porzingis, man, I
Sad.
can't. That's sad, dude. I give this a D minus. This is a D minus. Who knows if he's even going to be available? Which for this team, injuries have started. The injury bug is hit, and Kristaps doesn't help that at all. He's talking about a guy who's barely healthy. He mustered it together to get his participation trophy on the Celtics, and other than that, he just hasn't been able to be relied on in his career. And especially to kind of make a push or whatever the Warriors are trying to do. I mean, I'm not really sure what their plan is, but I don't know. I give this a D minus, dude. I'm out on Kristaps. I'm out on this Warriors team. I feel bad for Steph, and he should be trying to push his way to Charlotte. If I was him, I'd be trying to go to Charlotte. Like, just get me to the Hornets.
Yeah.
Send me home, dude. Like, let me get my LeBron arc, bro.
Yeah, I think this is honestly rest in peace to the Golden State Warriors. Fuck this team. This team has done won it all for the last 6 years. I have to watch them play the Lakers all the fucking time, and it fucking sucks. We are one of their losses in the 73-9 season. I will hold that to the end of my grave. And so,
Nice.
like, yes, the Golden State Warriors. Fuck this. This team has had it all through the 2010s, the early 2020s. I love Steph Curry. I love watching him play. He revolutionized the game, but fuck this team. So yeah, this Kristaps Porzingis trade, they're trying to save grace at this point. The Jimmy Butler injury is definitely unfortunate. Maybe the team could have been a little bit more competitive, but yo, you got pods out there when you could have had LaMelo Ball. So shit out of luck, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this a D as well. I mean, I know you had to get off Kaminga, but this guy went from, being talked up as a possible
Steve Kerr hates that man for some
centerpiece for a
unknown reason.
Milwaukee or a Giannis trade to being half of a Kristaps Porzingis trade. I mean, it also
Oh,
cost them Buddy Hield. And it's not like, Buddy Hield's this young rising star or anything, but he was one of their most important postseason players just last year. He has great chemistry with Jimmy Butler. I mean, like, he's not nothing. And
yeah.
to pair him with Kaminga just to get Porzingis, who's played 17 games this season, he's supposed to be, on the brink of return, but he's on an expiring contract. Jimmy Butler's out for the season. So like what are the chances you really do anything this year with KP, Draymond, Steph, and a bunch of ragtag hooligans, basically? And then you got to pay Porzingis in the summer. So, like, yeah, I'm not feeling this trade at all.
Hooligans.
Yeah.
There are
Houston
some
Rockets
hooligans.
didn't do anything, which was surprising considering that they've been on a pretty massive skid now after going all in for KD. Şengün's play has fallen down a cliff, and they very desperately needed more scoring and ball handling, and they did nothing. So we'll move on. Indiana Pacers made a pretty big swing with Tyrese Halliburton out for the year. They shipped out Benedict Mathurin and 2 first-round picks in exchange for Vika Zubac. Kenny, how you feel about that one?
I like this trade. I don't know if I think the Pacers gave up a lot. It says they gave up their 2026 first round pick. That seems to be a lottery pick this year. So
It is protected 1 through 4,
okay,
but yeah.
cool. Okay, that's not bad. But if they lose that pick, this is a generational draft. Eva Zubac is really good. It's a very big upgrade for them at center after losing Miles Turner last offseason. But this trade really just worked well for the Clippers, I feel, more than the Pacers themselves. I think this is also like a C.
Luke,
Luke?
how you feel?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give this probably. I mean, ultimately, I know it's a cop out, but it does depend on that pick, because it is protected. But if it's 5 through 9, it does go to the Clippers, which could be a pretty massive pick for them. So I think it's contingent upon that pick. If it goes to 2031, then I like this deal a little bit better. I'm not as big as on Zubac as other people, but I think he's a fine center. Obviously, he doesn't have the skill set as Miles Turner has, but I think he's going to be well next to Pascal. I think they get some more size and rebounding. Although Jay Huff isn't mad, so maybe they should have freed some more Jay Huff. But
Free J Huff. Free J
more
Huff.
more reverse dunks, like his fucking 180 dunks. But yeah, just in a vacuum, I guess I'll give it a B minus. I know that Zubac has got some all defense buzz last year and probably this year too. And he is a 5 center, so I do like Mathurin though. I do like the Clippers getting Mathurin.
Yeah.
I'm high on him. I
I'm
think
actually
he's got
pretty
big nuts on
yeah.
that Benedict Mathurin.
I'm actually pretty big on Big Zoo. I was telling Six that the Celtics should have traded for Zubac instead of Nikola Vucevic, but we'll touch on that when Six returns or we get to the Celtics here. But I do think this is kind of a massive overpay. I mean, 2 first-round picks and Benedict Mathurin, who is still young, still growing, and honestly, he was arguably the pacer that impressed me the most last finals. I mean, game 7 after Halliburton went down, and the game started getting out of hand at the end of the fourth quarter. He was the only one who was still trying to create buckets when the
100%.
offense stalled out.
100%.
His heart was on the floor. Like I think that's a player you don't give up on, even if he's not hitting the shots that you want him to. Like he clearly cares. He has the athleticism to succeed. He has the tools. So I think that was a big piece to give up. And on top of 2 first-round picks, one that could land, I mean, top 5, the 5th pick. That This is
Mhm.
a deep draft. You could get a
Yeah.
franchise cornerstone at 5, 6, 7. So
Uh,
yeah, I think this is a massive overplay. Even though I do like Zubac, and the other side of it is like he doesn't really fit at all what led the Pacers to so much success last year with Halliburton running the helm. I mean, they played fast, they played 5 out, and like Zubac has his pluses and he's a great defensive center, great rim roller, but he's going to slow the offense down. He doesn't
100%.
shoot threes, he's going to clog the lane. So maybe they figure it out. I mean, he could be a great pick and roll partner for Tyrese Halliburton when he returns, but I just don't like the fit there, and I definitely don't like the price that they got him at. But yeah, the other side of that deal, the Clippers got Benedict Mathurin, 2 first-round picks, and Darius Garland this trade deadline. I'll start with this one. I think the Clippers had A plus plus trade deadline. I
Absolutely.
mean,
Absolutely.
in 1 week they went to a team that seemingly had no future post Kawhi Leonard and post James Harden, and now they've got 2 young cornerstones. They're rebuilding their draft picks, and like they could compete in the immediate present too. Benedict Mathurin and Darius Garland could help them if Garland gets healthy. So like I have no complaints here. They got great value for what they shipped out. I mean, James Harden could have opted out of his contract and just left in free agency. And in exchange, they got a player who just last season would have been viewed as basically untouchable with the
Yeah.
way he was playing with Donovan Mitchell out leading like a historically great offense for the Cavs.
Right.
Bug, Canny, how do y'all feel?
You want to take this one, Bug?
Yeah, I'll take this one just because Knicks played them in the playoffs last year, and Matherin's a really good player, man. Like I really like what I saw from him in the playoffs. I thought his game rose to the occasion when they needed it to, and when games kind of slipped out of hand, he's a tough son of a bitch, bro. He gets to the free throw line, he can hit threes when he's open, and I think if he goes under the wing of a one Mr. Kawhi Leonard, I think I think you'll maybe find another level to his game. Maybe he didn't have opportunity to show on the Pacers. So I like Andy said, A plus plus for the Clippers. I think they got draft capital that that they just kind of stumbled into. I don't know who initiated this Zubac deal, but I feel like the fucking Clippers were like, like yeah, like just give us a minute. And we're like, holy shit, are they fucking serious? Like we're getting 2 first round picks for Zubac, who is fine, but I mean
Two
he's got
first
two
round
years.
picks. Like,
He's got 2 years left on his deal. I'm assuming at this point you got to pay him after that, unless you just gave up 2 first round picks for a 2 year rental on a center. So I mean, so who knows what that deal is going to look like? And I don't know. I think the Clippers. I think the Clippers did a fantastic job getting Garland too, as well, taking a flyer on him because why not? You know, uh, if James Harden's going to be disgruntled, get another point guard. And I think Kawhi Leonard is a steadying force, and I think he's been the reason that they've made this kind of resurgence when they started out so bad to the season. And I think the team is just going to fall in line with that. And yeah, I like Mathurin, dude. He's fucking tough. I like Garland for what they gave up. I like him there and all the draft capital, dude. So that's A plus plus. Great job by the club.
yeah, I don't.
Canny,
I don't
anything to
know.
add?
Yeah, A plus, man. Like this is as much as it hurts me to say that the Clippers won the trade deadline. They have won the trade deadline.
Yeah,
Uh,
man.
the Clippers started off so bad this season, and I was like, "Fucking finally!" And guess what? They're coming back. They're 23-27 now. Great. They've lost the last two, but they're in the 9 seed, so they are in the play-in. Um,
Mm,
and I think this is a great move. Like what Ben said, Benedict Mathurin is like what you, like in the finals. Like when Tyrese Halliburton went down, this man put the team on his back. Like nobody else was getting a bucket, and this guy was trying his hardest to get that bucket. And
yeah,
I credit him for that. I think Benedict
yeah,
Mathurin, and Darius Garland is a great backcourt. Get rid of old ass James Harden. Get some young stuff. Benedict Mathurin's got a clutch gene, so you don't got to depend on Darius Garland if you need to.
yeah,
I like this trades a lot. They got a lot of draft capital because they literally lost it all for Paul George, so they've gained a little bit of back. So yeah, this is a great trade for them to stay steady and also compete in the future.
Yeah,
yeah.
no. Lots of like for the Clips. Let's move on to the other team in LA. Canny, you'll start us off. They sent out Gabe Vincent, the perpetual trade piece for the Lakers here, and got
Perpetual.
Yeah.
Luke Kennard in return. Kenny, how do you feel about that?
Uh, I mean, Kennard isn't. He's been playing well as of late. You know, the numbers don't look terrible, but Gabe Vincent is just. If he's not shooting like 42% at least, like he's just a liability to be on the court. Like you shoot in 37, 34%. It's not a great defensive presence. We have no defense, and I don't think this Luke Kennard trade helps our defense or our shooting. So honestly, another C, man. Like this is just like you just traded for a
No.
taller Gabe Vincent. I feel like I don't know. It's just
No.
I like Luke Kennard. I like him
No.
way more than Gabe Vincent. Trust me, for a
You
player that
should.
has barely played in the last 3 seasons, and I'm glad he's getting shipped out. But like, it's just Luke Kennard. I hope he plays well. I hope he comes out and balls out. But yeah, it's a little too white on this team for my comfort.
That's true.
It
It
is a
is.
lot of white guys.
It is. It
We gotta
does.
get Connect out of here, bro. This is like
The Snowtime Lakers are in full effect. Like
the
they did.
snow.
They did add another white boy, but like, hey, just casually, just some numbers. Luke Kennard is leading the league in 3-point percentage this year.
Yeah,
We're
Uh,
shooting the
it's way
shit out
better
of
than
it,
Gabe
dude.
Vincent. 100.
he's
percent
he's shooting 10% better than Gabe Vincent from three. So he is
He's almost
very
at 50%.
yeah, he's shooting the fucking shit out of the ball. Not taking a lot of attempts, but he is making almost 50% of his threes, which I feel like you will notice very, very quickly as opposed to what Gabe Vincent was doing. So I'm gonna give the Lakers a B. Uh, I think honestly, I'll give him an A for making that LeBron looking at him in the bench, like he was like whatever he fucked up on the fast break, and it was like, yeah, this guy's out of here. And then like the next day he was out. So for making that live on forever, I will give the Lakers an A. And the GM, you get an A for this move. Good job. He still got it. He still fucking got it.
He still got it.
He still got it. He's still making moves.
Yeah, I think it's an A just in terms of value. I mean, you turned a player
Okay.
who really wasn't doing shit for you into a
Sorry, I'm on
literally
my Asian grading
50%
scale.
3-point shooter. But yeah, he needs to shoot more. I mean, like that's the bottom line. And hopefully he goes to snow time and catches a little bit of that white boy swagger. Luka
Yeah.
Doncic and Austin Reeves and
He's
maybe
finally
LeBron if
back.
he's still bought in to encourage him to fucking let it loose. Let's move on. The Memphis Grizzlies continuing their tear down. They couldn't get rid of John Morant, but they did get rid of Triple J. They got 3 first-round picks in return from the Utah Jazz. This one surprised a lot of people. Boog, how did you feel about it?
It surprised me as well because the Grizz got a lot of first round picks. I did not know that Jaren Jackson Jr. was worth that much. I do know that he won a Defensive Player of the Year. Some people will say he should have made All NBA last year. But I think it's a lot of that's a lot of capital to give up for a guy who's supposed to be, I guess, your center, and he doesn't rebound the ball. So that's my only kind of thing. What is it in 8 years? In 8 years, how many rebounds a game do you think he's averaging in 8 years in the NBA?
5.5.
I'll say 6.5.
It is 5.5. He's averaging
Wow.
5.6 rebounds a
Yes,
game.
sir.
He is
He's
he
7 feet
is
tall, by the way.
he is 7 feet tall for all those out there listening. So
Steven Adams with
uh
better PR.
Steven Adams used to maul rebounds. This guy is like
Steven Adams' career
Yeah,
average is like
this is
5.
7 foot Andrew Wiggins, bro.
yeah,
Like
he
I
Right.
was
think
he was doing that for Russ though. He was doing
Right.
that for Russ.
Hold
Now
on. Because
now he's
Steven
a
Adams was
monster.
doing 5 rebounds with like 28 minutes a game. This guy's playing 35, 38 minutes a game, and he can't even get 10 rebounds. That's sad.
yeah, this is 7 foot Andrew Wiggins, and I don't know if I'm trading 3 first round picks for 7 foot Andrew Wiggins. So for the Grizzlies, I'm gonna give them an A. You are blowing shit up, and you're doing a great job. You got the Knicks picks for Bridges. I mean, not the excuse me. You got the picks from the Magic for Desmond Bain. So that's
Fucking
a win
Desmond
there.
Bain, dude.
You got 5 there, and you got 3 more for JJJ. So you got 8 first round picks, and them two niggas don't average 8 rebounds a game combined. So shout out to you for that.
Yeah.
Go Memphis.
Honestly, yeah, another A trade to me. I like Walter Clayton Jr. too. I think he's a great talent. Kyle Anderson brings some vet presence that is much needed in Memphis because
Back home.
Ja is a fucking douchebag. So yeah, I just it's just Memphis. I like these trades. I really wish they moved on from Ja, but clearly they're holding him till the offseason to see if they can get something for the draft.
The
Yeah, I
Grizzlies
don't
been
think it
pretty
was
good in
for a
the
lack of
draft.
effort. I'm gonna give the Grizzlies an A+ here. I think Desmond Bain got 4 first round picks, so 7 for the two of them,
Okay.
but still. I mean, we
Jesus.
talked about it with the Bulls. Like, this is the difference between an incompetent organization and one that knows what the fuck
Hmm.
it's doing. The Grizzlies gave it a shot. They built a young core that looked super encouraging. I mean, they
For
made
the
it to
first
the
3 years.
semifinals with, yeah,
Yeah.
21-year-olds.
Right.
And from
Yeah.
there, it looked like their future was beaming, but
Hmm.
they knew soon on that they were hitting a wall. They wouldn't get over the hump with this core. So they blew it up. And in return, they have 7 first round picks in the next few years to build it back up. And in the meantime, they've collected some pretty like encouraging young talent as well. I mean, Cedric Howard looks like a beast. Zach
Yep.
Edey is encouraging. Jalen
Hmm.
Wells has his moments. And like along with the picks they got for Jaren Jackson Jr., they also got Walter Clayton Jr. and Taylor Hendricks. So that gives
100%.
you a couple more throws at the dartboard to see if anything sticks. But yeah, aside from not being able to trade John, I really feel like it wasn't for a lack of effort. Like, I
Mm.
think they had an amazing trade deadline. No complaints there. Miami Heat did fucking nothing once again. I don't know if they tried to trade for Giannis or what, but maybe Pat Riley was fucking napping again. Um, Speaking of the Milwaukee Bucks, instead of trading the Giannis, they added Nick Richards and traded away Cole Anthony in the process. Channy, any thoughts on that?
None go through my head.
You don't have any hot Nick Richards takes.
I like Nick Richards. Nick Richards can ball when he plays, but it's C plus, C minus, whatever. This Milwaukee team is defunct.
Mm. Yeah, the website that I got all the trades from, it says nice piece of writing from whoever wrote this. This is akin to trying to save the Titanic from sinking with a helium balloon. So I'm gonna echo that sentiment. I actually like Cole Anthony, so him going to the Suns is intriguing. I think he'll help them out a little bit when they need to spell Colin Gillespie. But I think yeah, I think the Bucks are a shit show. I don't know what the fuck they're doing, and I don't know why they're not trading Giannis. So that's what I
That
got for
Drew
the Bucks.
Holiday trade sent them back by like 10 years, man. For that Dame trade sent them back a lot.
Man, yeah, I think so. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. They've done a lot of fuck shit recently that's gotten them into this position. I don't think it's
Trading for
been
Kyle Kuzma was number one, also
that
up
was
high.
probably that was crazy. That was crazy.
That was-
That was crazy. Yeah, trade for Kuz was
Okay,
ridiculous.
I think Nick Richards might have actually been rerouted. Let me
No shit, they didn't even get
I
that.
think we might have a
God
correction here.
damn.
The Bucks got Usman Jang and Nigel Hayes Davis, and
Yeah,
they
you get
sent
an
out
F.
Cole Anthony and
Give
Amir
me an
Coffee.
F.
You get
Give
an
me
F.
an F.
You get the trade the casuals pod first F, nigga. This is a F trade deadline from the Bucks. F from the Bucks, F from Giannis, F to everybody involved. Like this was just a shit show. You got Shams. Candy shit on Shams because he's getting dicked around by the Bucks. Like this is what's happening.
Trust your sources, Shams.
Yeah, no thoughts on that. Y'all should have just traded Giannis. Maybe you'll get something better in the offseason, but it really does feel like they're just holding on way too long. Just cut bait. let's move on to the Minnesota Timberwolves. We touched on this deal earlier, but let's talk about the other side of it. They sent out Rob Dillingham, Leonard Miller, and looks like 4 second-round picks for Io DeSomu and Julian Phillips. I'm gonna give this
Mhm.
one a C minus. Um, it
Oh,
was pretty obvious that the T Wolves needed some guard depth, some ball handling. Mike Conley's play fell off a cliff. Rob Dillingham showed that he wasn't ready to contribute to a winning team. That said, I mean, he was a first round pick just last year. And I mean, I like Io DeSomu, who's got a nice game. He can be frisky on defense. He's been a pretty great shooter since arriving in the NBA. But in terms of price, I just got to ding him a bit. Bug, how do you feel?
I actually I'm high on this for Minnesota. I'm gonna give them a B plus because I like Desomu. I think that he is a good guard next to Ant. I think that he plays some defense and he hits some threes. He's having a career year from three. And I don't see why he shouldn't be able to get some looks with Minnesota coming off an Ant driving kicks and Julius Randle penetration. So I think that he should continue to get good looks, and I think he should keep hitting them. And if he can stay on the court with his defense and him and Gobert out there, I like
Hmm.
that together. So I'm gonna give the Minnesota Timberwolves a B plus. I know they
Yeah.
were in the kind of semi Giannis sweepstakes and they missed out on that, but not a bad consolation prize. And you move off of Dillingham, which he wasn't panning out. He wasn't the player that you needed him to be when you needed him to be it. So you get out while you can, and you cut your losses, and you get a guy who's still in the prime of his career. So a good move by the T Wolves.
Yeah, I agreed. Ayu Desonmu, I fuck with this guy. He's playing really good. Like Ben said, he's having a career year from three. I think this is a great move for the Timberwolves. I'm also going to give him a B plus. Like you said, like the Dillingham explosion that everyone expected last year just didn't happen. It didn't come back this year. He needs some time to develop. I think this is a great place for him to develop in Chicago, fight for what's right. Hopefully, he comes out on top. I like Dillingham. I think Minnesota needs IU because IU's played in some big minutes. Dillingham kind of falls short in those big minutes, but I don't really blame him. He's very young. I think he's still got a lot of heart left. So I like this.
I
I
mean, he
like this
hasn't
trade for
really gotten a
Timberwolves.
chance to his
Either
credit.
exactly,
He hasn't really
exactly.
gotten a chance, and I think that's because I think
The
they
team is
what
a
the
playoff team, and they need
that's the
somebody
playoff
ready.
team. What the Wolves need him to do, I don't think he's ready to do it.
Exactly. Like he's just not. He's not the guy that they need right now. But I wish it worked out. But some players take some time to develop. So hopefully that is one of the cases.
All right, let's move on. These next two teams, we're going to talk about them back to back. I mean, they were directly involved in deals with each other. That's the New Orleans Pelicans and the New York Knicks. The deal was Jose Alvarado to the Knicks in exchange for Dallin Terry and 2 second-round picks and some cash.
Cash.
Uh, for the
Cash.
Pelicans side, I'm going to give that a solid C plus. I mean, they weren't going anywhere. Jose Alvarado, we kind of know what he is at this point. He's approaching 30 if he's not 30 already. He's a solid role player. So to get 2 first-round picks or 2 second-round picks, excuse me, I guess that's fair value for someone that didn't have a future for a team that doesn't seem to have much of a future. So yeah, solid C plus. Bug Canny, how do you feel? Bug, you can weigh in from the Knicks side as well.
Go ahead, Bug. This is your team.
Yeah, this is an A plus 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 for me. I mean, shout out to the pride of Puerto Rico, Jose Alvarado. I mean, you get a Puerto Rican to come to New York City. That's a dub. We've been eyeing him for a while. We've been talking about him. Probably making this move since the summer. So shout out to Leon Rose, getting this guy. Player option for next year, 4.5 million. If he picks that up, he's still a legend forever. So I hope he does that. We get him on a friendly deal for next year. But yeah, to move off of Yabusele, who we traded Dalen Terry for, or we traded Yabu to get Dalen Terry, who we flipped for Alvarado. To get off of Yabu, shout out to Yabu. I hope you succeed in all facets of life, my man. You were not ready for what the Knicks were trying to do, which was make a deep run into May and June. So you were not ready for that. He could not hit shots. He could not hit threes. He couldn't guard anybody. He couldn't rebound. Jose Alvarado is going to fit right in with Josh Hart. He's going to be mauling the backcourt. I'm just thinking about the defense with Deuce and Mitchell Robinson, the back swatting shots, and OG on the wing, Bridges on the wing, Alvarado stealing inbounds passes. He's going to be a crowd favorite. It's going to be an instant shot of life. I already know it. The crowd's going to love him. I'm going to love watching him, and it's an A plus plus move. Another defensive guard. Can't go wrong with more defense next to Jalen Brunson. So it's a great move. And he's only 27.
Yeah, I agree.
Kenny, anything to add?
Yeah, I like I said, I agree with you, Andy, on the Pelicans being a C plus, and I think this is an A plus move for the Knicks. I think this is another Josh Hart type player that can run with your bench unit a little heavier, as well as the starters, so you can use them interchangeably a little bit more than Josh Hart, since Josh Hart's getting a lot of the starter minutes. So he's another tool piece for Mike Brown to use on defense, and I think that's a great thing to have when you have Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson is not the greatest defensive player in the world, so
He's not.
I think this is a very good upgrade for a bench. If your bench isn't shooting well, if they can play some defense, that at least can settle the team down until the offense comes back in from the starters. So yeah, I like this trade for the Knicks.
Okay, let's move on to the Oklahoma City Thunder. They got Jared McCain in exchange for the Rockets' 2026 first round pick and 3 second round picks sent to the Philadelphia 76ers. We're going to touch on the Sixers later um, down the list, but I'm just going to say that this is an A plus plus move by the Thunder. Uh, we bet on them to go under 64 wins, and for the first time since we've checked, they're actually on pace to go under that. They're on pace to win just 62 games. Uh, the few problems they've showed this season is a lack of shooting, especially off movement, and some secondary creation behind Shea Gilgis Alexander. And yeah, they just
Looking at
went and they
you.
solved it in one trade. And
Mhm.
all it cost them was a 2026 first round pick that's probably going to be in the 20s and 3 second round picks. Yeah, Jared McCain, I know he's quote unquote struggled this year, but really it's just because he's been buried under a deep guard rotation for the Sixers. He's still shooting nearly 38% from three, and he was on pace to win Rookie of the Year last season before he got injured. And I mean, he was drawing Stephen Curry comps, and I mean, that's a crazy comp to draw, but it's not without reason. I mean, he showed to be one of the best like off-ball movers that the league has seen since Steph Curry, and he's got a beautiful stroke. He's shown to be able to create for himself on the ball, and he's not, of course, not the best defender, but he has NBA size. So on a team that has plenty of defense behind him, like the OKC Thunder, I mean, this is a slam dunk trade. I think they addressed pretty much all of the holes they had on their roster with one move, and it barely cost them anything. Bug, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this is also a A. I'm gonna give it an A minus just because of the kind of injury concerns. But for what they gave up, which was practically nothing, I mean, it's a no-brainer for Presti. You got to make this move. Like you said, the Thunder need help with another creator next to SGA, somebody else who can get their own shot. And Jared McCain's showing real flashes of that. So if he's healthy, he's going to be playing next to SGA. He's going to be playing next to Dort, and some of his defensive woes will be covered up, and he can just shoot the shit out of the ball, which he will do. And yeah, this is a great move. This is a move that you make when you're thinking about the playoffs, especially when you just got your ass kicked by the Spurs again. Yeah, you go out and you do something to kind of help your team. So I'll give it an A minus only because of the injury concern.
Yeah,
Fair enough, Kenny.
I'm in the same boat. I'll give it an A. I think Jerry McCain showed a lot of flashes. NBA Caleb Williams, he's got his thing going. I think I like Jerry McCain. The TikTok auras of the Oklahoma City Thunder team and his, they're combining. I think it's going to be great synergy. I think he's going to fit right in with all these young guys that are the same age as him. So yeah, I think this is a great move by OKC to keep the just the rich keep getting richer right now. So it's nuts.
All right. Let's touch on the Orlando Magic real quick. All they did was sacrifice Tyus Jones to get under the luxury tax. So I'm gonna give that a D plus, going back to the original signing of Tyus Jones in
Go
free
back to
agency.
Desmond Bain.
Yeah, they're the Magic. Y'all on the wrong track right now. You're gonna ruin our win totals parlay.
Yeah.
Yeah, get your shit together. So now we can touch on the Philadelphia 76er side of the deal. And Daryl Morey, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing?
He saw them painted
I
nails
mean,
and
like,
said, "Get the fuck out of my city."
has the NBA not learned to not deal with Sam Presti and the Oklahoma City Thunder? This
No.
team was on pace to break
The
the
Bulls
win
gave him Alex
record.
Caruso for free. They gave him Alex Caruso for free.
They're the reigning champs. All their players are young, and you just gave them another young, potentially rising star on a rookie contract, and you're probably going to get a pick in the 20s in exchange and 3 second rounders. What the
Yeah.
hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Like,
Honestly, this reminds me. Maybe this is like Presti's way of like making up for the Harden trade, for like getting a fleece for a different like young guard. Because yeah, I don't know why you're doing this just to get under the luxury tax or whatever tax apron you're doing it, but the Jared McCain has to be the casualty for that is fucking insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Like this guy was in rookie of the year talks, and you gave him to the defending champs, like
For
for
nothing.
no, for money, like just to save some bread. That's it. You're fucking billionaires. Like, what are we doing? Like to save some bread. Like that's
On a set
insanity.
cap, to save bread. Like
That this is press. This might be Presley. Some of Presley's greatest work. If it leads to a back to back, if Jared McCain is hitting big shots in the finals against the Knicks to go back to back and win the championship, like that'd be fucking crazy.
not to mention, they could have just let Quentin Grimes walk. I mean, I know Quentin Grimes played really well last year, but he hasn't been exactly lighting it up this season.
Nah.
And yeah, I mean, the Thunder
Quinn
have a
Grimes, this is what
million
fourth
draft
team.
picks. Yeah,
Quinn,
the Thunder
Quinn
have a
Grimes has
million
been
draft
everywhere.
picks, and all you could get was the Thunder's pick this year. Oh my God. Okay. The Suns basically did
Yeah.
nothing. The Portland Trailblazers got Vic Krejci for Duop Reef.
I like Krejci.
Uh, yeah, Vic Krejci. I'm gonna give that a B
I like
plus. I
Krejci.
mean, they didn't. Duop Reef wasn't doing anything for them, and they got a nice rising player with size who can shoot. Someone who's ascending, so can't complain too much about that.
He's good. Good
Bug, what do
contract.
you think?
Good contract. Good contract for Krejci. He signed through 28. So I like what the Blazers are doing. Ever since they got rid of that guy, they seem like they kind of turned the corner and shown some promise.
yeah.
I won't shout out to Denny Abdia, but he is an all star, so he didn't make the team. No shout
It's all
out for
right.
you because of your ties.
Some other people will shout him out.
You'll get a tweet. You'll get a tweet. You know which account it will be from. But yeah, so the Blazers. I like the Blazers direction. Abdia ties aside.
Kenny, what do you think?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Getting shouted out by modern day Hitler is something, man. It's yeah. I don't know this what this. The Portland Trailblazers are cool. I think they're playing well. They're the 9 seed, obviously a lot better than being 13 or 14. So, I
Yeah.
think they're being competitive. I think this is a good trade for them. Krejci's not bad either. Checking out
Nah.
some stuff. I think this is a good move. I don't even know who Duop Reith is, but Krejci's got a cooler name, so I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, Vic Krejci is the
Jake
best
Fisher
thing.
called him young rising center, and he's 29 years old.
Nice.
So
So you
I
gave
love
up
that
basically
that's
nothing for a
interesting.
young guard. That's great.
Yeah. Okay, Sacramento Kings. They turned Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder into DeAndre Hunter. They held on to Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and DeMontis Sabonis. I'm gonna give
Nice.
them a D minus. I actually do believe that DeAndre Hunter can probably bounce back from the atrocious season he's had so far. That said, the Kings should not be trading for a player like DeAndre Hunter. They should be selling the farm and not giving up young players like Keon Ellis in exchange. Kenny, what do you think?
I know this is a weird connection, but the Kings owner is Indian, and just this is the reputation I fucking get, dog. Like just shitty shit happening all the time. Like thank God for Zoran Mamdani, because Indians before Zoran, we was in the shithole, bro. Like they still think Mamdani's Arabic, like he's Indian, like So it's like we smell, we fucking suck at businesses, like fucking Vivek is not helping us, man. Like this is what are you doing? Sell the team, man. This is a fucking F. This is just terrible ownership for the last 15, 18 years. They had to light the beam, and that Warriors loss. What great players do that most people don't realize is that they end wannabe dynasties, wannabe contending teams. The LeBron did it throughout his career to the Celtics, the Wizards, the Raptors. Steph had demolished the Kings throughout his career, and he did it again in the
And the
most
Rockets.
heartbreaking, and the Rockets. And he that's what the Kings are reeling from. And traded De'Aaron Fox, not really getting the value should have got for somebody for a team that had a lot of stuff to get. You trade for DeAndre Hunter. You don't trade DeRozan. You don't trade DeMontis Sabonis. It's like Russell Westbrook till we die, and it's just like I'm gonna watch this team. As an owner, how can you watch a team like this for 40 years? Like this is just like
I don't think he's watching.
clearly not. Like this man is a fucking psychopath. I feel so bad for the people of Sacramento. I hear the sack is fire.
Hey, yo.
You guys don't deserve this. Like, I don't think any NBA fan deserves like the Kings treatment. This is the Sacramento Kings are the Cleveland Browns of the NBA. Like, it's just sad.
Anything to add to that, Bug?
I think Kenny, the Sacramento Kings are the NBA Cleveland Browns. I think that's the best thing that this podcast is gonna come out with today.
Yeah, I think that's a good summation. We're gonna skip over the Toronto Raptors because they salary dumped Ochai Bahi. The San
Chris
Antonio
Paul,
Spurs did nothing.
Wagwan, brother.
Which I actually like that the Spurs did nothing. I mean, they got a nice young core. Why
And they
not
just
see
beat the
how far they
back-to-back.
can take them?
They got the champs number with 20 minutes from the best player. The Spurs might win it, bro. This is crazy.
Yeah.
The Utah Jazz, we touched on it a little bit, but we're going to talk about the other side of the trade. They got Jaren Jackson Jr., Vince Williams Jr., Jock Lindell, and John Conchar, and sent out Walter Clayton Jr., Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, Georges Niang, and 3 first-round picks for the pleasure. I'm going to give this one a C minus. I don't love the value they gave up. We know that Jaren Jackson Jr. has his flaws. That said, I am interested to see what they're building in Utah. I do think he's an interesting fit between Lauri Markkinen and Walker Kessler. Kessler's out for the rest of the season, so we won't really be able to see what that front court looks like till next year. But I do think there's some interesting chemistry that could happen there. This gives the Jazz, the rest of this season to tank. I do wonder if they're going to just shut JJJ down to maximize
100%.
their chances of adding AJ
100%.
DeBonsa or Cam Boozer
100%.
or whatever.
It is. There's.
But yeah,
Sorry, my bad.
no, you're good. Overall, like I don't love the value, but I do think that the Jazz picked a good time to kind of push the chips in and see what they can do. I mean, they've got some nice young pieces in place already. Keontae George has been hooping. They're finally gonna try to take advantage of Lauri Markkinen's services for real. They got, my boy Ace Bailey, who's been pretty up and down in his rookie year, but I mean that is still a nice building block. Bryce Sensabaugh, Cody Williams. So if they can add, a top 5 pick to that core, and JJJ plays well, and Walker Kessler comes back strong, I kind of like what's happening in Utah. But yeah, the value overall,
Yeah.
I have to give it a C minus. Kenny.
I think this is just a trade to grab as many good assets in a sense of, trade value for random pieces for whatever they can do to get AJ DeBonsa. I think, if you didn't know this, the NIL money that AJ DeBonsa gets at BYU is paid by the Jazz owner. They're getting DeBonsa, no question about it, in my opinion. They got the corruption going. I don't know how this is legal, but it is. But the Jazz are going to get DeBonsa regardless of what pick they get. I think these same players are going to be moved for DeBonsa in one way or another if they don't get the pick that they want. So yeah, I think that's the Jazz or what the Jazz are prepping for. Personally, I don't see Jaren Jackson Jr. playing in Utah. Personally, I don't think he wants to play in Utah. So I think he's going to be on the move again. I don't see this trade as something that the Jazz are doing to make their team better. It's just assets to have that are better than second round picks, in my opinion. So they can get AJ DeBonsa, whether it's a 3-team trade or 5-team trade. He's going to fucking the Utah Jazz.
Okay, some interesting
Uh,
theories. Bug, what do you think?
think that that's gonna make a hilarious clip for awful announcing when AJ DeBonsa inevitably doesn't go to the Jazz. I think it's gonna be fucking hilarious. But yeah, I think as far as the Jazz goes, I'm not too high on Triple J, but I think at some point you do have to start trying to look like a basketball team that's trying to win and getting assets that are, proven assets who have been on winning teams. So I'm not too upset at it. A fresh start for Triple J is probably good, for both sides involved. But for the Jazz, it's a big contract to take on. And they did give up 3 first-round picks, but I don't think those picks are lotto picks or anything that they're going to be missing or sweating. So they still have a lot of capital to play with. They still have different contracts to play with, but I kind of like the weirdness of maybe that marketing Kessler more Triple J kind of front court. I think it'll be weird, but it could be kind of fun. Keontae George and Ace Bailey, they're fun players. I think Keontae George shown some real flashes this year, so I'm gonna give the Jazz probably, I'll give them an A for effort. Thank you for actually trying and actually hey, signaling to whatever fucking fans are watching, we are actually at some point we are gonna start trying to be a basketball team for the first time. What seems like almost, I don't know. It's been I mean, I guess since Donovan Mitchell left, which seems like forever ago, but it just seems like the Jazz haven't been trying
It's
for a long
4 years
time.
now.
Yeah, so just shout out to them for starting to turn the ship around.
Yeah, and I mean they've been bottoming out for 4 years since Spider left, and the highest they've picked was 5, and they got Ace Bailey. So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean it just goes to show that sometimes tanking really doesn't pay off. So why not try to do something frisky while you have the assets to do so? Speaking of our last team, we will go back and touch on the Boston Celtics, but let's talk about the Washington Wizards first. I mean, if this was if this was 5 years ago, this would be a hell of a trade deadline. They got
Mhm.
Trey Young and Anthony Davis in exchange for CJ McCollum, Chris Middleton, and a couple first round picks. Personally, I'm gonna give it a B plus. I mean, They bought low on two big name players who are whose stock have certainly crashed. I did like the Trey Young acquisition. I'm not as high on the Anthony Davis pick, but in theory, with those two players as the bookends, and then you've got Sar and Keontae George, or no, not Keontae George, Keyshawn George. I mean, and Trey Johnson. They've got some nice pieces there. Bilal Coulibaly. It's kind of like what the Jazz are doing. I mean, you can only float around in the bottom of the basement of the NBA for so long. You got to sell tickets. You got to give the fans something to root for. And I mean, at their best, like you could potentially see the Wizards making some noise if their young pieces pan out and Trey Young and Anthony Davis are healthy. So give them an A for effort. But how do you feel?
Yeah, I know I gave the Jazz an A for effort, and I don't want to shout out to Chocolate City. My grandfather, God rest his soul, he used to live there. Spent some time there. The people of Chocolate City they are nice, and shout out to the wings with the mumbo sauce and all that. But I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what the fuck this is, man. Like, I mean, this is like you're becoming the Hawks. Like you're just like getting to the middle. Like you're just like, how do we get into this play-in tournament thing? Like, how do we get in on this action? Like, we want the 9 seed. Like, we want that shit. Miami, give it up. Like, this is a move you're trying to. This is a move you make when you sucked ass for so long. You're like, we just need to make a play-in game. Like, you take on Anthony Davis contract, which is outrageous. You take on Trey Young, who's got a player option next year, probably gonna opt into that, and then you're gonna have to pay him a stupid contract. He's still going to be under 30, so you're going to have to pay him. I mean, I don't understand why you're trying so hard to get into the middle when they had this fun core, man. I like Sar, I like Bilal Coulibaly, I like Bub Carrington, I like Keyshawn George. I want to see those guys play 30 minutes a game and fuck it up out there. I don't want to see Anthony Davis and Trey on pick and rolls in 26, 27. I don't want to. Who wants to see that? Like just to make the 9 seed? Like what the fuck are we doing? Like, god damn. You get a D fucking minus. I don't know why you're trying to get in on the Anthony Davis business. He's 33 years old. The guy never fucking plays. He's got two glass eyes and a fucking unibrow, dude. Like, what are we doing, bro? Like, Chocolate City, you made we're trying to win championship aspirations, and you're like, now you just going back to mid. You did all this just to go back to mid. I don't understand.
Yeah,
Can man.
it is definitely just a move to mid, but
The
it,
mid.
it is mid, and it's Anthony Davis is probably not even going to play this season. So the
No.
guys the guys that you're talking about, I think they're still going to get their run, and the team's still like fun. They did trade Chris Middleton and Marvin Bagley the third. I didn't even know Marvin Bagley the third was on this team. So I think they got Trey Young for a really low price. We don't
Yes.
know if he will be the player he was, but it's a good swing again. Like what you said about the Jazz. Like I feel like the Wizards franchise is finally trying for the first
But
time in
like
forever,
what the
and it's
Jazz
just
did
true.
is like you took a swing on a DPOY who's 26 years old. Yes,
Yeah,
you gave him yeah, you gave us a young player, but
I
you
don't
got
like
a
the
guy.
Anthony. I don't like the Anthony Davis trade as much as
The
you.
Anthony Davis trade is
Uh,
that's the one. I mean, Trey
no.
Young, yes, take a 1 year flyer. He's gonna pick up
Yes.
the player option. You take a one
Yes.
year flyer. Maybe he can fit along with the defensive wings you
Agreed.
got. Maybe he doesn't.
Agreed.
Anthony Davis making
Agreed.
$60 million
I don't
for 2 more
understand.
years? What the fuck is that?
Yeah, 33-year-old Anthony Davis
What?
playing on one leg. I didn't see this trade working well. I didn't really like the Wizards trade right here. I don't know. They kind of just took a salary dump after trying to change Leafs with Trey Young, and saying that they wanted to compete next year. But yeah, it's whatever. I feel like it's a B. It's a B for effort. So
Rebuilding teams, you shouldn't be taking on bad contracts. Like you don't take on. You're rebuilding. Why are you taking on shitty fucking contracts? You don't need it. You
it
have Alex Sarr. That's your center. Like, what are you doing?
in defense of the Wizards, I mean, it's not like they were going to do anything with their cap space. I mean, who's coming to play in Washington unless KD really wants to come back to the DMV. But yeah, I mean, like, is Anthony Davis someone you really want to bank on for 60 M's? No. But the Wizards weren't going to
Oh,
spend that money on anybody really anyways. I mean, they got all their important players on rookie contracts. So what I like about the moves they made is that they didn't really give up any of their young players in exchange, or they actually didn't at all. So there's a chance that
yeah.
these players grow into their max potential while they have two veteran quote unquote stars presences there, and maybe they'll get frisky. But I definitely see the reservations around Anthony Davis. um, let's
Yeah.
just quickly talk about the Boston Celtics. Six did not make it back, so as penance, we're just gonna grade the Boston Celtics real quickly. They sent out Anthony Simons for Nikola Vucevic. Personally, not even to punish Six. I think this is like a C minus, bordering on a D plus move.
Yeah.
Vucevic plays no fucking defense. I mean, I know his 5-out spacing and stuff is nice in the Celtics, kind of free flowing offense that really just does its best to generate drive and kick threes and stuff. But at the core of that championship team was also defense the other way. Vucevic will provide absolutely none of that. I think they would have been much better off building a package for Zubac. I think he would have been a much better fit in Beantown than in Indy. So yeah, I mean, Anthony Simons is a hooper. I hate that he's going to waste away in the infinite guard rotation of the Bulls. So we'll see what happens with him. But yeah, not loving the Vooch acquisition. Bug, how you feel about that one?
Yeah, I'm right in line with you, Andy. I've never been a big Vooch guy. And now he's 35 years old. And I guess he's expected to kind of fill this Porzingis role that they kind of missed from last year. But I mean, he's definitely not blocking any shots, and he is shooting 37% from three, which is he'll be able to take some more. Maybe he makes some more. So, but other than that, I mean, he's kind of a guy at his best. I think he's better in that low post kind of where he can bang kind of inside out kind of thing. And the Celtics offense isn't that. They get up and down and run. They shoot a lot of threes, and just like with Zubac with the Pacers, like he's 35. He's just gonna be plotting up and down the court. So I don't really understand this move. I guess you kind of had to do something for center rotation, but I mean, Vucevic, like, dude, never been a big fan of his, especially in a big game. He's not gonna show the fuck up.
Yeah, just this is stupid. Like you traded for a 37-year-old center. Like
Who needs a contract next year? So I guess are you paying him or
what
because
are
if
you
it's
fucking
between
doing? Why
if
do you?
it's between Simons and
What's
Vucevic,
the
I'd rather pay Simons.
what's the difference between Vucevic and Al Horford to this day? Like, there's not a big difference right now. Like, you're just trading for Al Horford again. Why'd you cut him in the
Horford can
first
play
place?
some fucking defense.
That
Yeah,
too. And you
Horford is
got
actually
and you
would be an
got
incredible.
and you got
Yeah.
Vucevic instead. And it's just like, why'd you let Al Horford go in the first place? He would have signed with y'all for way less money. He likes being in
Well,
Boston.
Horford chose to leave. He wanted to go to Golden State to chase the ring.
He did. Yeah, especially if Jason Tatum doesn't come back, like this move downgrades into an F because like why
Yeah.
did you just give up Anthony Simons
I don't
for a
understand
rental
this. Hold up.
for
Before we
Vooch?
get started on this Vucevic, why is Jason Tatum trying to fucking come back? Bro, you light-skinned fuck. Calm the fuck down. Sit on the
Hey,
fucking bench and relax.
come on.
Enjoy LMA. Go the fuck to the beach. Do
That's
something
crazy.
else. You'll come back next year. If you tear your fucking ACL like Derrick Rose did and lose your fucking thing again because you're not fully fucking healed, like Tyrese Halliburton tore his ACL at the same fucking time. Maybe like what, 2-3 weeks earlier, I guess. For Jason Tatum, like Tyrese Halliburton went on LeBron's podcast like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, and was like, "Yeah, I'm just getting there. I played against Benedict Mathurin, and he was cooking my ass." Bro, you will get cooked, Jason. Please take your time. Come back. We love seeing you play. Don't come back to this bullshit ass Nikola Vucevic, Jalen Brown team that somehow has lucked its way into a 3 seed. personally, in my opinion. I hate watching the Celtics play. This team is cancer on cancer with a coach that is psychotically involved of not allowing anybody to step inside the 3-point line. Fuck this team. This is not going to work out. Vucevic can barely run on the fucking Bulls court. How the fuck is he going to run in Boston? I don't fucking know. We'll see. F-.
All right.
Wow.
And that is our NBA trade deadline recap. And after all that excitement, we still have the Super Bowl to talk about. Last game of the season, last call for football. The Seattle Seahawks take on the New England Patriots in the rematch. The Seahawks are favored by 4.5 points. I'll lead off with this one. I think the Seahawks will take this one easily. I know that history has not sided with teams favored by more than 4 points in the Super Bowl, but this is a Super Bowl. This is not your typical Super Bowl. The Patriots got a cakewalk here. They were aided by the weather. They will not have the weather on their side this time around. Drake May has not played good football in over a month now, and now he's going up against the number one defense in the NFL. And Sam Darnold has been on a heater. As insane as it is to say, I do think Sam Darnold's redemption arc finishes with him hoisting the Lombardi Trophy and covering 4.5 points. Bug, how do you feel?
Andy, I feel the same way. I think the Hawks cover the spread here. I think that they're just a better team than the Patriots, and Sam Darnold is playing better at quarterback right now than Drake May is. Especially, I know the injury reports in this playoffs have been kind of dicey about what to trust and whatnot. But if we are to believe that something may or may not be wrong with Drake's shoulder, then that definitely impacts this game as well. And this defense is incredible for the Seahawks. And I'm happy for Sam. I'm rooting for him. What happened on the Jets is not his fault. He was just a casualty and a long line of casualties that goes before him and will carry on long after him, that were slaughtered by the Jets and their shitty fucking management with their Epstein Island owner, Woody Johnson. So, Sam, I'm rooting for you. The Jets are rooting for you. We hope you get it done, because if you do, that means we have drafted a Super Bowl winning quarterback in the last 10 years, which means we're getting close.
Yes, sir.
We just have to keep him on our team this time.
Dude, both New York teams' ownerships being on the Epstein files is actually fucking insane.
Crazy. This is what they're doing instead of watching tape on
Epstein,
draft
the
picks.
New York financier.
Kenny, you run with the Hawks. I know we know sixes. We don't have to ask.
We know sixes, and for the sake of the podcast, I will not. I don't feel like I don't feel like we should sweep the Super Bowl. I don't like that. I'm gonna take the Seahawks. I'm gonna take the Patriots. I'm sorry, not on the fact that I think Seattle still wins, but I think the Patriots keep it close. I think Mike Vrabel has shown that he can be a dog in these games. So I think it'll be a close game, a 4.5 game. Like, I don't know. I think the last Super Bowl was the last one that was like a complete blowout since, the Seahawks, the last time they did it. So if the Seahawks win, it's going to be a blowout. But, I don't know. I feel like for the sake of the pod, I'm going to take the Patriots, man. I don't feel comfortable sweeping the Super Bowl. So I'm going to take the Pats here.
All right.
Emotional head.
Do we want to do a lotto parlay with some Super Bowl prop bets?
Hell yeah.
Either funky or not. The Charlie Puth national anthem over under.
Tails for the coin toss. Tails. Go Tails.
Tails never fails.
Tails never fails. I got Tails Hawks minus 45 parlay.
We'll put that together and send it out for y'all before the big game. But yeah, it's been fun. NBA trade deadline, Super Bowl coming up. Everybody keep it casual. Last chance to make some money on the football season.
You guys don't have a prop for the Super Bowl?
I do have a prop. I have a prop for the Super Bowl too.
What you got, Kenny?
I'm gonna say Cooper Kupp 5+ receptions. I think Cooper Kupp is gonna ball out here. I like it. I don't know the odds, but that's what I'm going with. I think Cooper Cup is a phenomenal player that they drafted for this exact moment. Is to play in the big game. He shows up in the big games. I think Cooper Cup is the one that's going to get most of the action, honestly, because JSN is probably going to be doubled all night. So yeah, I like Cooper Cup at 5 receptions, 6 receptions, something like that. And I'm also for the lock. I'm going to take Drake May interception. I think the Seahawks defense is really good, but I think the Drake May is going to turn over the ball. It's going to be a tough game for him. If they're going to do anything, it's going to be through the run game, I think, a little bit. So, yeah, I think Drake May interception for lock.
Okay, shit. If y'all are ready, I'm ready. Boog, what you got for
Oh
your lock
yeah.
and lotto?
I'm gonna lock the Hawks minus 4.5. It just makes sense here. 'Cause I think they're gonna cover, so I'll just lock it. And for the lotto, I got AJ Barner, anytime touchdown, plus 240. He has been their tush push specialist as well as their highest or he leads tight ends on the team in receptions. So he can get it through the air. If they get to the 1 yard line, he could tush push it in because they don't really like running Kenneth Walker on the goal line, especially when Charbonnet was healthy, even though he's not. So I'm gonna go AJ Barner touchdown and think you get some good value at plus 240.
All right. Yeah, I can give my lock and lotto as well for sure. My lock is going to be under 45.5 points. I think anyway, the game script plays out. I don't see 46 points going on the board. If it's a Seattle Seahawks blowout, it would be 31-10. That's under 45.5. If it's a close game, I don't see it going over like 20-17. And yeah, I don't see a lot of fireworks in this one. So I'm locking the under. And for my lotto parlay, I'm going with JSN Super Bowl MVP at plus 550. I think that's great odds. I think I know it might be difficult for JSN to win Super Bowl MVP over Sam Darnold, but we've seen it before. How many games this season would you have given the Seahawks MVP to JSN over Sam Darnold? There's a very
Yeah.
realistic chance that Sam Darnold has a pretty mediocre game on the box score, and pretty much all of the passing production goes through JSN as it has all season. And especially when he's matching up with Christian Gonzalez on the biggest stage, I think the voters are going to side with the star wideout in his breakout season. It will be tough to go up against the Sam Darnold redemption arc, but JSN's been a beast all year. I think he's going to cap it off with the ultimate reward, Super Bowl MVP plus 550. We'll get Six's picks and string them all together for you on the graphic. But that's it. That was our NBA trade deadline recap and Super Bowl preview and picks. Everybody keep it casual. We're out.